Bobzybounce. I'm Bobs.
And I'm Bouncer.
And today we've got a special episode because we've got actually a first time on our show. First time because we've got a guest who's come for the second time.
Woo.
For the first time. It's Kainaat Mughal. Guys, big up everyone.
Big up. We had to get her back.
Okay, stab it.
She's famous now, isn't she? She's famous.
Yeah.
She's famous now, yeah.
Boys, make sure you got your wallets ready.
Listen, the wallet flipping out, the bank account's been emptied. But anyway, guys, so I just want to talk about. We're going to start off with how was the podcast helped you? So I'm going to be egoistic over here, right? I'm going to be egoistic over here, right? Because
not my hard work or effort or anything.
No, of course,
no storytelling here.
No, but okay.
Listen,
we did this podcast here, and it kind of went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. For us, it was amazing because the amount of traction that we got. And once again, thank you so much for coming on for that initial podcast. And thank you for today. But what's happened since that podcast now?
So since that podcast, I think I've just reached a sort of uprising in my sort of social media career sort of platform. I didn't expect it to actually blow up. I didn't think that many people would care, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think just how different people came together just to see it, all walks of life, young people, older people from our generations. I think a lot of people from the community, a lot of people congratulated me and thanked me for talking about such taboo topics. And I think a lot of us, what we shy away from, I think that's what I spoke about. And I think a lot of us kind of never really thought that, a brown Pakistani Muslim girl would talk about those sort of topics, I guess. And I think going forward, I think a lot of us just looked at it from a different perspective, and I think finally a lot of women and probably men could relate as well to the podcast. So in that sense, I think it's just been crazy, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if you saw, a couple of weeks ago, a podcast came out. I was on British Muslim TV, so finally hit the big screen. Mama, I mean.
Oh yeah.
And then
and that was it's not on YouTube, is it? That
no, but hopefully inshallah it will be on YouTube. And then and just other stuff. I've got some work for BBC lined up.
Oh wow.
And so that'll be cool. And then I literally came back from a modelling gig today. So big up Makeup by Sanya. I promise you. I'm not gonna let you down. And that's it really. And it's just all to do with my sort of social media presence, that talking about body positivity and just being loud and proud and being happy and content within my own skin. And I think it was a long time coming. I think a lot of people doubted me. I think a lot of people didn't see my potential, but I'm here to show them that I'm breaking all the glass ceilings now.
Thing is, your story.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was, and I even said it at the time as well. It was such a compelling story that you had, and I think that's why people, especially women, right? They obviously found it really interesting, and they found it really captivating and everything, and they could relate to it. Yeah. You were telling me, the amount of messages that you got.
Yeah, honestly, some of the messages I got post that podcast was insane. Yeah. I had women messaging me saying, thank you so much. This has given me the confidence to go get therapy. It's given me the confidence to love myself more. It's given me the confidence to be happy in the skin that I'm in. Mm-hmm. I had one woman message me saying she was married for about 5 years. She was in a very turbulent, horrible, DV related, domestic violence related. She was constantly getting abused by her husband, 3 kids deep. And she said, I watched your podcast, and the next day I packed up all my things with my 3 kids and left. And I was like, whoa. I mean, that was crazy to hear, that it had that much of an impact on some people's lives, and I think...
there's not a person that you personally knew?
No, just someone randomly on my Instagram, sat in my requested, and...
So she needed just either somebody to talk to her, or somebody, or to see a message like yours to get out of this destructive relationship.
Yeah.
So that's what it took. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. That's what I love about the internet, and I love social media if it's used correctly. Is that women have a voice now, and I think that people are a bit scared to vocalize that, and I don't know why that is in a community, the stigma of it. We're in 2023 now, come on, these things are normal and they do happen, and for people to shy away from it, especially in our culture, I just don't understand it. I really don't. And I'm just glad that even if I've changed one person's life for the betterment of their life, I've done my job.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like I got a few messages on like Instagram and like TikTok. It was like we watched the podcast and they're like, you know what? I wish I was in Kainaat's position to speak up about it. But they said we're scared of speaking up about it. I go, well, sometimes you need to basically have that little boost from someone else.
Yeah, 100%.
To speak up about it. You know,
100%. Like even if it's like I said on the previous podcast, even if I didn't have anyone to talk to in terms of like a social media outlet, I spoke to my friends after about it and that was good. And even if you don't feel comfortable, go get that professional help. I feel like a lot of us in our community, we shy away from going to go get therapy and going to get counselling. There's nothing wrong with that. I think if it's that whole theory of if you've broken your arm, you're not going to go to Bob's, say, Bob's, I broke my arm, can you fix it?
Well, he has done.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a story.
No, you got a point. But the thing is, though, it's like Eastern shame on the family, right? It's like
Bring bloody shame.
And you know something,
Bastard.
I mean, it's changing now. It's changing now. But I remember back in the days, right? There was no such thing as mental health, right? It was like there was no like the concept of depression or like anything like that. It was just like, if somebody's got some Asian, I'm talking about the Asian mainly, right? And it was like there's something wrong with him, or they'd be like, it's just it's crazy or something. And it's like you can't go to get professional help. But now it's breaking. This. People are going out and they're getting help, and the mindset's changing because I think it's the new generation educated.
It's what people don't realise is that some of those mental health issues that people have is generational trauma, and nobody likes to talk about that because they don't want to take responsibility or take the blame that they have generational trauma.
Do you think, right? This is a bit of a controversial one now, yeah.
Okay.
Do you think? So what you just said. What do you say? What trauma?
Generational trauma.
Okay. Do you think part of the trauma could be caused due to the culture that an Asian person is brought up in? So the fact that you're born in England, so you live in a Western world, but your parents are trying to adapt the Asian culture into that child.
Yeah.
Do you think that partially could be the reason that this child now gets confused?
Yeah, 100%. I'm a prime product of that. I always felt tug of war with my identity growing up. I grew up in a predominantly white area in Leeds. But had like I said, my mum, like in the previous podcast, my mum's creme Pakistani. So I always struggled. My dad was predominantly raised here, so my dad was very white. I mean, to the point like my dad's name's Arif, but he changed his name to Harry. Like back, most people did in those days because they couldn't say the name. I mean, I don't know how hard it is to say Arif, but yeah. But I think it's just that adaptation of being in a country where you don't know where you really fit, because I always felt like that. I didn't know whether I was too British or too Pakistani. I thought I was British, maybe more than Pakistani, and I really struggled with that. So I think just trying to find the balance is really, really hard, because if you don't do too much, this terminology of being a coconut is very thrown about very, very easily, and I got called that most of my life.
And the worst thing is, right, you get ridiculed by both members of the society. So for example, if you now try to fit in with the Western world, okay, then your own people, the Asian people, they're going to be like, look at this wannabe, right? He's trying to become a white person, okay? But then at the same time, if you then try too much to fit in with your own people, then the Western people or the white people, they're going to be like, we can't associate with this person, right? You live in England, you should be trying to accept our values, but you're just sticking to your values. So you're not what's the term? When you you're not integrating with our society. So you kind of, like you said, like you were in the middle.
Yeah, you feel like tug of war. Like you constantly feel like, okay, what do I do? Because I think we all went through that struggle where we were in school and your mum made a packed lunch and you had a kebab sandwich and everyone else has got like bloody like ham and cheese and you're like, got a kebab sandwich, mate, and they're like, that just smells like curry, and I'm like, bro, it tastes better than your ham and cheese sandwich. I'll tell you that before.
So we used to go on like school trips.
Your mum sent you a kebab sandwich.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then you get a kebab sandwich, or like sometimes like we used to put dal on the.
You're on your own with that one.
Dal on the bread.
You know what? Honestly, I did it later on in life, and revelation. I swear to
Trust
God.
me.
Yeah.
Dal
So
on bread.
for people that don't know what dal is, it's basically like a lentil curry.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people do because everybody goes to a bloody Indian restaurant, right? But like dal is basically like a lentil curry on bread, oh my God.
I mean, I've had dal with bread. Oh, actually, game changer. Yellow dal with garlic bread. You heard it from me.
Garlic bread?
Garlic bread.
Oh.
No, because you know with you do that tarka thing, don't you, with dal anyway?
Yeah.
You use the garlic and
Yeah, yeah.
you know like butter and stuff, and then it's got garlic bread.
Bussin'.
Wow.
But anyway, back to this trying to fit in. So I think, you know, when our parents came to this country, I think they should have, as soon as they got off the plane, okay, I'm sure it wasn't that long ago that they came on flipping ships, right? But like, as in like, you know, when they came
Off the banana boat.
yeah, they should have realised that our parents, you know, we are now in England, and our parents need to have, I mean, our kids need to now have a different upbringing.
Yeah, 100%.
We need to adapt them to this culture.
Yeah, and also like if Pakistan or whatever third world country or eastern country that you come from was so good and the values were so good, why didn't you stay there?
I think they mainly came for the money, though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but like,
money.
I think what they didn't realize is even with the money, part and parcel, you're gonna have to sacrifice somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to sacrifice somewhere, and I think, you know, this whole sort of ideology of, you know, I was watching something on TikTok the other day, and it was a video saying that whichever country us as a Pakistani culture go to, we've got the same norms and values. You go to someone's house, ARY is playing, Geo News is playing, Uncle G's still worrying about the Jung newspaper being in his house, they still got the Jolly on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've come to the UK, go see what it's about. Like, you brought your same Pakistani sort of culture into the UK. Okay, it's cute, I agree with it in terms of like, that's their sort of, I guess they get solace in that, you know, some form of peace, you know, home away from home sort of vibe. But if that's what you were going to do, you should have just stayed in Pakistan. Like, you know, and I think it's that time that we evolve, we do things, we adapt things. You know, I grew up in a household where like Britain's Got Talent was on a Saturday. We'd all get together as a family and watch it, and you know, it's just that. And then when you go to school on Monday, you would talk, oh, did you see what happened on Britain's Got Talent? So you don't feel left out from it.
Yeah.
If you were sat there watching Star Plus with your mum on a Saturday, I mean, I've been there, but like, you know, and then they're like, oh, did you guys watch Britain's Got Talent? You're just sat there like, yeah, no, I just saw what happened to Tulsi, Charlie Tulsi.
I mean, I think you're gonna kind of split the audience, because I think there's gonna be half of the audience that are gonna agree with you, okay, but you're gonna get half of the audience that are gonna maybe take this in the bad way. I think what you're not saying is be proud of who you are.
100.
Be proud of your culture and your upbringing.
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
However, you need to also learn to, you know, think that the fact that you're not actually Pakistan.
Yeah, that's
right?
it. I mean, you know, would you want to sleep on a munji for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are, if that's you, big up to you.
See, in order to be called that a charpai.
You guys should buy. I don't know what. I've always heard. I think because being in Bradford and people talk about it like in the Bahari or Patwari, people always called it a munji. So I've just called it a munji. But yeah, I've heard.
It's basically a bed a Pakistani bed, which is the most uncomfortable bed.
People say that they sleep.
Yeah, they chop.
No, I don't like it.
Hang on a second, right? Let's just
We're having this debate.
Yeah, let's set this record straight, right? Because, you know, somebody's a Pakistani, everything in Pakistan is fantastic. It's better than England. No, it's not, right? My bed with my lovely mattress, okay, and my pillows is way more. You cannot tell me that that's more comfortable than sleeping on. It's basically, because the people who don't know, because it's going to be watched by other people that don't, not people not only from Pakistan. It's basically a wooden bed, isn't it? Like a frame, right? And the
String.
and it's string, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's string.
Like rope,
Yeah, rope.
Like rope, yeah,
But like,
yeah.
it's like a trampoline, isn't it? It's like a trampoline, right?
No, but I think it's worse.
But worse than a trampoline, because a trampoline is like one cloth,
Yeah.
whereas this is like lots of different.
It's lots
strings.
of rope attached together to make.
Like crisscross, like a crisscross type of.
And
Which
is not comfy. And I know you could put like something on top of it or whatever,
Any,
blah blah blah.
just buy sale, bring it to me.
Yeah, but it's not
Shout
comfy.
me out.
It's not
I want to
comfy.
try it. I want to try it for myself.
But just go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say is when we came here, our parents needed to adapt to survive
Yeah,
more than anything.
absolutely.
You know, because here when I was back in '70s, it was totally different to how it is now.
Oh yeah.
So they had to adapt to. That's why, like I say, that changed his name to Harry.
Yeah.
Because he had to, you know, adapt to survive. Because obviously back then, you know, there were a lot of racism was
the
crazy.
people were thrown about, you know,
Yeah.
all of that. So yeah, I asked my dad once. I said, Dad, why have you called yourself Harry? And he said, because the white people can never say Arif. And I thought, how hard is Arif? But then I said, no, Dad, there must be more to it. And he's like, well, to be honest with you, I didn't want to be called the P word, so I just called myself Harry.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is, like, you know, partially I'm kind of on his side, but also I'm not as well, because I'd say I'm on his side because obviously, like what you just said, how you explained that, you know, you're changing him to Harry for whatever reason, but because they couldn't
wanted to avoid the racism.
Yeah, racism, and they couldn't pronounce his name properly, right? Yeah. But I think this country now, they call it, like, you know, it's such an intellectual country, right? You know, people people from all over the world come here to the schools and, you know, to learn over here. Well, if this country is so intellectual and, you know, so wealthy in knowledge, well, then you should be able to pronounce my fucking name.
Well, true, I agree, because I had that problem throughout the whole of school. I had been called the weirdest names in school. I had a geography teacher call me Kenya for the whole year. Kenya, like, I'm like, my name's Kainaat, and she's like, is Kenya present?
No, but guess what? You know your name, right? Kainaat, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's 3 syllables, Kainaat, right?
Yeah.
So I can see people kind of not being familiar with that name, okay?
Yeah.
My real name, Omar, okay? Omar, very simple name. The amount of times people can't, even now they can't pronounce that name, Amar. And I remember I worked at Staples, right? I had a manager there, and I was there for like about 2 years. No, I think he's probably dead by now. Right? Honestly, the guy was a right pillock, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I can't remember his name, Colin.
Robin.
But yeah, but check this out. He couldn't say my name, and he used to always get, like, you know what he used to say? It's like he was struggling.
Yeah.
Omar, I'm like,
Omar.
Yeah, I'm like, Omar. My name is Omar. It is so simple.
Yeah.
Right? But I refuse to change my name, even though they call me Bobs now, yeah. Right?
Controversial.
That's a different story for another day.
That's a different story, yeah. But like,
so I had to abbreviate my name, and it came to the point where, like, the whole class knew what I'm about to say, so you could tell that the teacher was struggling to say my name, and I'd be like, just call me Kai. And it got to a point where if they heard, everyone in the class heard the teacher struggle, they were like, just call her Kai, miss. Just call her Kai. Like, and that was it. And it got to a point where, like, all my family started calling me Kai as well. And I was like, and then I had a realization, and then I went to uni. Actually, no, I was in college, and I had a friend called Mimi, and because we used to hang around with each other, so I called her Mimi, and then she started calling me Kiki, way before the Drake song, by the way, guys, just saying. And then I was called Kiki, and then I went to uni, and I transitioned with that nickname. So all my friends from uni called me Kiki. So I don't know what has happened, because when people speak to me, they're like, what is your name? Because somebody's calling you Kai. One person's calling Kiki, your family calling Kainaat. You're a bit confused here. Yeah. And I was like, well, to be honest with you, I don't care as long as you're saying my name respectfully, whether it's my nickname, whether it's my full name. But then I think as I grew up, I thought, no, if you can learn the likes of the names of Frida Kahlo, Leonardo da Vinci, Van Gogh, you can learn my name.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn my name.
Yeah, no,
put some respect on my name.
Yeah, I don't think it's a difficult name. But like I said, you know, if you act like you're all intellectual and, you know, I'm such a knowledgeable person.
Yeah, you learn Nelson Mandela's name, Mahatma Gandhi.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm Gandhi, but come on, like, learn my name.
Yeah, exactly. Just a different topic. So I just want to talk about, in terms of dating, the dating scene, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go there with this one. So, okay, like, I mean, let's just be open about this, right?
Okay. So I've been single for just coming up to 3 years now.
Yeah. Obviously, the last podcast everybody's seen, right?
I know.
So that's all.
All you thirsty guys in my DMs know I'm not going to marry you.
Yeah. But like, that's all obviously finished and done and dusted, right? So you're like kind of on the market type of thing.
Yep, I'm single, ready.
Looking around. So have you?
Shopping.
Yeah, no, but have you like been on a couple of dates and whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been on dates recently, and I just think like I was talking about this on my British Muslim TV podcast as well. That like.
Sorry, honestly. So you discussed your dating life?
Well.
No,
I didn't discuss my dating life.
Right,
Cancelled.
Yeah.
No, I talked about like the kind of men like that are out there, because I'm at an age now where I'm not just dating to just date. I'm dating to get married.
Okay.
You know, or trying to find someone in terms of who's serious, who wants to get married. Because I'm at an age now where I'm 27 next month. God damn, my white hairs don't be showing. And then, but yeah, so I just think like I'm at a point where yeah, I see all my friends, they're married, they've got cute little babies. I'm like, oh, my baby jeans, like, I want some kids. Like,
you would have sat down,
yeah, I want to have kids, man. Like, and I think, I keep saying, oh, I'll have a sperm donor, and then she keeps saying, forget it. So, I want that. And I've achieved everything that I want in my life now. Alhamdulillah, like, you know, like uni, work, and I'm just kind of at a point where I'm like, okay, I want the next step now. You know, I've proven to myself that, okay, I can achieve all that on my own, and alhamdulillah, I'm in a settled place, but I just want to get to that point. So, yeah, in terms of dating, like, yeah, there's been, I think even before I was married, like, there were some horror stories of, like, dates that I'd been on, so...
Going on, yeah, I want to hear.
Horror stories.
We got open Pandora's box today.
I want to hear, like...
Spill the beans.
Yeah. Like,
okay, so I went on a date once. And I took a gap year in 2019 at uni, and I was on...
So this is before you got married, obviously.
This is way before I got married. And this is when I was like 22. So like, I'm 26 now, 4 years ago. And I was on Tinder actually. I'm exposing myself so bad here. I was on Tinder, I was in London. I was single, I came out of breakup, I was like... Shan't be home. And then I was like, yeah, let's go. So I was on Tinder and I was swiping or whatever, and there was this cute Egyptian guy, and it said he was a doctor. I was like, okay. And then so I was like, okay, let's swipe. So we matched, and we were speaking for like 2 weeks, I think, roughly, like on text. And then at that time I was working at Wembley Stadium as an events coordinator, and that was the hottest weekend of the year, like when I was meant to go to work. And he asked me, he's like, what are you doing this weekend? And I said, oh, I'm meant to be going to work. Pink's at the Pink is winning, so I gave up to see Pink.
Yeah.
And then so what happened is he's like, oh, are you gonna go? And I was like, probably not. It's like the hottest weekend of the year. Like, I don't fancy working on the hottest weekend of the year. So he was like, oh, do you fancy meeting up? And I was like, oh, I was going to take my nieces out for dessert. So he's like, oh, you can still do that in the evening. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Was this guy from down south as well?
So he was from London. Oh. He was from Reading, actually. Right. And basically, he was a gynecologist. For people who don't know what a gynecologist is, he a doctor that look at you.
All day long. he's seen everything.
He's seen everything. Yeah. And basically, yeah, so we met up, and the build up to the meet up, it was like, so let's set the scene. It's the hottest day of the year. Where I lived in London that time, I was like more towards Essex, so to get to Central took me about, let's say, an hour, 10 minutes or something like that. And he said, don't eat, we'll go out for dinner. And I said, okay, that's fine. So we both agreed to meet for around, I think it was 6 o'clock in the evening, meet at Oxford Circus station. So I got there, he got on the train from Reading, and I met up with him, we said hi, pleasantries, all of that. And then I said, oh, I'm Marvin, let's go. And then he was like, oh, I've already eaten.
Okay.
I was like, what do you mean you've already eaten? Like, you told me not to eat, and I just did an hour journey, so now, like, I'm hungry. And he's like, and I was like, oh, what do I do now? And now, in my head, I thought, he could have told me, like, it's just the common courtesy of it. Like, if he's, like, I asked him, what did you eat? He's like, I had a sandwich on the train. Like, he could have told me, if that's what he did on his journey, I would have stopped at a shop or something, grabbed myself something light, and then I wouldn't have been as hungry as I got there. So then what had happened is we got to Oxford Circus, and I just thought, shiz, what am I going to do now? Like, I'm hungry. This guy's just here. And I was like, okay, so what do you want to do now then? And he was like, I don't know. And I thought, oh, here we go. So I said, do you want to go grab a coffee? I don't drink coffee. Oh, okay. Do you want to go grab a tea?
Sorry, hang on. He's Egyptian, doesn't drink coffee. Fake. Anyway.
Fake. So then what happened?
Do you know Mo Salah has about 20 cups of coffee in a day?
I knew the reason I fancied him so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then what happened is, like, I kept suggesting him things. I was like, should we go to a rooftop bar? He goes, I don't drink alcohol. I said, we can get a mocktail, a Coke, a Pepsi, whatever you drink. Yeah. And he was like,
water.
Yeah, water, iced water. Yeah. Like, no. And then he was like, okay. So I was like, okay. Do you want to go mini golf? No. Do you want to go to cinemas? No. Do you want to go bowling? No.
Do you want to go to Travelodge now?
I was like, what do you want to do then? It's the hottest day of the year, and this guy has no clue. He's like, let's go for a walk. on the hottest day of the year on Oxford Street, Regent Street in London. Like, are you crazy? It's so busy.
Yeah.
Anyway, luckily he was like, we walked past and at that time Topshop was open. So he goes, I need to grab a few bits. Now, I've been in a relationship with guys and I've had males around me or whatever. When a guy says he's grabbing a few bits from a place, I assume he's grabbing some socks, maybe a couple of t-shirts or something like that. Tell me why this guy went straight up to the suit section and then starts looking at suits, right? And prior to that...
A couple of bits. He's checking out a suit. Get a 3-piece suit. Anyway.
Yeah. So then what happened is I was like, oh... Like, and prior to this, I told him that I worked in men's fashion wear for like 4 years, and I think he just wanted a free stylist, to be honest with you. So we've gone up and he started looking at suits and he's picking out suits. He goes, does this look nice? And I said, wait. In my head, I was like, wait, let me ask him why is he picking up? He want to get married straight away? What the hell is going on? So then what happened is I said to him, I was like, why are you getting a suit? He's like, oh, I'm going to Egypt next week. I said, oh, that's nice. I said, what are you going to Egypt for? He goes, oh, my cousin's getting married. I said, oh, right, nice. And in my head, I thought, okay, 2 things that went through my head. I thought, number one, you're a doctor, right? Why are you shopping for suits in Top?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Should be in Savile Row right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I tell you something, doctors don't get paid that much, you know.
What, in London? A
gynecologist.
He's a gynecologist.
Oh, sorry, in London, sorry, yeah. They're different. But in Bradford...
And he's working for the NHS?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's making some...
He's making... It shouldn't be, yeah.
So then, anyway, I don't know. Anyway, so then, that's number one. And in my head, I thought, he's leaving it a bit last minute if you need alterations and all of that. Like, you know, I worked in men's fashion for 4 years, so I was thinking, you're cutting it a bit short, like, if you want to alter the suit or anything. So I said to him, I was like, okay, so I helped him pick out a few suits. I was just grateful the aircon was on him, to be honest, in Top Man. And he sat down, he's tried on off like 7 suits, and I've told him which ones look nice for a summer wedding.
How long have you been in Top Man now?
For about an hour, right? I'm sat under the aircon.
Pleasant day.
Yeah. Coming to help someone do shopping, wife duty with that with a ring on my finger, yeah. And then I said to him, I was like, you know, he's handed all 7 suits back to the woman. I go, what have you done that for? Oh, I'm just going to get the suit in Egypt.
What?
What do you mean? I just spent an hour of my life helping you pick a fucking suit out.
Complimenting you for everything.
Like, I was like, what the hell? And then he was like, yeah, I'm just going to get it from Egypt. And I was like, what the hell? So then I was like, oh, forget this. So we walked out, and then I said, okay, what are we doing then? I was like, because you went to Top Man, I did your thing, I was there.
I'm fucking starving.
I'm hungry. Yeah. And then he was like, so he said, let's go Hyde Park, grab a few bits, like we'll grab some snacky bits and we'll go. And I said, when's your train home? And he said about 9:30. So at that point, it was like, we'd been in Top Man for about an hour, so it was about 7. No, we were walking around for about half an hour. So let's say it was about 7:30, 8 o'clock-ish at this time, yeah? I said, I'm not being funny. We're going to go all the way to Hyde Park. Then you've got to catch your train. By the time we sit down, it's going to be time for you to leave. So I said, we're on Oxford Street, Regent Street. Let's go somewhere close to here. Let's just grab a bite to eat. So we've gone. He goes, I know this amazing Italian place. And I thought, like, he's going to come up with some independent, like, cute little, like, backstreet, authentic, like, Italian place. The way he was bigging it up, like, yeah, this is Italian place. It wasn't Express or something. It was, you know, is it Carluccio's?
How's that like such a...
It's not. It's a chain. It's a chain Italian.
They've got a Trafford Centre next to Las Iguanas.
Exactly, it's a chain Italian, right? So anyway, so we've got there, and he goes, and the waiter goes, would you want to sit inside or outside? I said, oh, it's a nice to let's sit outside. So we sat outside, and he started asking me questions that he already asked me when we did that half an hour walk up and down Oxford Street. So like, do you drive? And I said, you know, you already asked me this, right? And then he was like, oh, did I? Oh, did I? I forgot. Like, and I was like, no, you did. Anyway, we've sat in complete silence. We've not said a word after that awkward conversation. We've ordered our food. We've eaten in complete silence because it was the most boring day ever. And then the waiter comes over with the bill. So the waiter comes over the bill and he goes to the Egyptian guy, here's the bill. And the Egyptian guy looks at the bill, looks at me, looks at the bill. He goes, you got this, right? And I go, what?
Don't fucking complain. Dude, listen, Miss Feminist, don't...
I'm not a feminist.
Oh shit, you know, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop it out of there. oh, you're Miss Traditional, sorry, apologies. Yeah, sorry.
Housewife.
You like to be winding down. Yeah, no.
Then,
What was the bill like? 30 quid?
£60, £66 or something like that, right?
Well, we are talking about London.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's £66, right? And
No, but shall I be honest with you? You know, on the first date, I believe, right? Obviously, before I was married, I think the guy should always pay.
Yeah, 100%.
The first date, the guy should pay.
My dad always
think
taught me.
It's a gentleman thing to do.
My dad always taught me, if a man can't even pay for a meal for you the first time you meet him, how do you expect him to provide for you later on in life? If he can't even pay for a meal for you, the basic sort of, necessities, is that the kind of man you want in your life?
No, it's a good logic, but also I just think, I don't know, but this is a very subjective thing, right? You know, I think it's like, it depends on each to their own, right?
Yeah.
Personally, I think a guy, first date should pay.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. So anyway, sorry. So he goes, you got this, right?
Yeah, so then I looked at the bill, looked at him and I go, you're a doctor, right? You got this, slided it back to him. And then he goes, see, this is what I hear about you women in this country. He goes, you cry about feminism, you cry about equal rights, but you can't even pay a bill. I was like, wait a minute. I said, you're the one who asked me out. Like 50 said, 50 Cent said, whoever asks whoever out should pay. Yeah. I've never asked a guy out in my life. I'm not paying shit. So then what happened is, he's then started saying, oh, look at you, look how you're dressed. You look like a slug. And I was like, whoa, where is this coming from? He goes, you call yourself a Muslim, this. Now, you tell me, it is 39-degree heat weather. What does he want me to wear?
I think you deeply offended him.
I don't know, man. He was like, look at you, you're naked. I said, what? I'm not naked. I tell you, I had short sleeve on and I had like a long play suit, so it was like up to my knees. Yeah. So like this much of my leg was showing. And he was like, look at you, you're naked. So I said to him, I was like, okay. So I wasn't a slug when you matched me.
Maybe I was going to buy you that fucking suit. To cover you. Sorry. Yeah.
And then he goes, so I said to him, when you matched with me on Tinder, I wasn't a slug. When you wanted me to come on a date, I wasn't a slug. When I was sat in Top Man helping you pick out suits, I wasn't a slug. But all of a sudden, now that I don't want to pay the bill, I'm a slug. Okay, make it make sense. And then I was like, you're talking about Islam, but you just ordered a haram steak. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Right? And because I ordered fish, and he was like, he said it to me, he goes, you can get whatever you want on the menu. And I was thinking, I was like, in my head I was thinking, clearly you got whatever you wanted, right? So then what happened is, it just turned into this whole commotion where everybody outside, now next to us was like four, I'd say middle-aged, late 50s kind of women, having a bottle of wine, just enjoying the hot weather, whatever. And one of the ladies turned around and said, men aren't men, are they anymore? I thought, oh, Tony. I thought, she's putting it on me. And then I said to him, okay, why don't we do this? I said, why don't we ask everyone outside in this restaurant what should happen on the first date? And whatever the consensus is, we'll go with it. He went bright red in his face.
Let's do a poll.
Let's do a poll. Phone a friend. And then basically he was like, no, why are you going to do that for? Why are you going to do that for? Blah, blah. So then I said, okay, let's do this. I said, I'm going to pay my half, you're going to pay your half, and you're never going to see my beautiful face ever again. He was like, no, I'm not paying for it. I've just travelled all the way from Reading. I'm not paying for it. I thought, what the hell? Like, okay, I'm offering to pay half. Yeah. At least you, the bare minimum. Reasonable now, yeah. Now the bare minimum you can do is pay your half. Oh, this is the problem with you girls. We do everything. We can't even get treated to a meal. I was like, what in the world is going on? Patriarchy at its finest, right? So I was like, okay. So then the manager came over and he's like, is everything okay? And he's like a proper Italian guy. He's like, is everything okay?
Everything okay?
Like mamma mia.
Where at Carluccio's?
Yeah.
Oh, you were putting it on.
No, because all the staff spoke Italian amongst themselves. I don't know if it's a criteria there, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so he came over and he was like, oh, so, sir, how are you paying, cash or card? And he goes, no. He goes, we're splitting the bill. And he goes, huh? What?
So you never discussed it,
he was like, what? He goes, I'm going to make Bella pay. And he was like, He just put his head down. He's like, yeah. He goes, I've been with my wife for 12 years. I never let her pick up one check. Can't do an Italian accent, guys. Sorry, don't kill me. So then he goes, I've never made her pick up one check. And literally, the first thing that came out my mouth, literally, as soon as I said, do you have a brother? And then he was like, he goes, no. He goes, okay, this is how it's going to happen. So he goes to me, tap your card, but then go to the lady at the front desk, like concierge sort of thing. And I looked at the card machine, and it was like £3. I was like, huh? Why? I said, he goes, tap your card.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay, fine.
So he sorted
Tap my card, £3 buzz in, and then he made him pay all the rest.
Pay the rest of it. Yeah. Pay the rest of it.
He made him pay all the rest, right? So I've walked over to the concierge, right, and she's come over and she goes, I am so sorry. He comes over because he gave me a gift card. I think it was like 50 to £80 on it or something like that. He goes, come back. You can come back to my restaurant. I want you to have a good experience. He goes, but don't bring that dickhead here. And then, so what happened is, as I'm walking off, one of the old ladies, I heard her turn around and say to the guy, like, are you not going to make sure she gets home okay? You know, are you sure? Like, it's quite late now at night. Like, are you not going to make sure she gets home okay? He completely ignored her and lit her, sparked up a cigarette. Now, for me, I don't care if you're rude to the younger generation, but I don't know. It's down to a sort of moral compass. For me, the ultimate thing that I cannot stand is someone who's rude to an elderly person. And the fact that he blatantly ignored her or didn't even respond to her just gave me the caliber. And I thought, if you're the type of man that looks a vagine all day, I don't want you to be my gyno. Bruh, is that the energy you got? I don't want you anywhere near my energy at all, you know? And it was so disgusting. And I ended up actually having a really bad panic attack after that day. Like a really bad panic. Because first and foremost, London is not my hometown. It's not a city that I grew up in.
So, by the way, did you just go your separate ways and
so then what happened is, it was actually quite a funny story towards the end. So I rang my cousin, because I was staying at her house, and she said, how was the date with the doctor? And I was like, let me get home and, I'll tell you. And then she goes, okay, yeah, get home. And she goes, tell me. And I was like really upset. So I got home, and then I told her everything. And then my cousin's response was just class. She goes to me, what did you say he does again? I said, he's a gynecologist. And she goes, what does his family do? I said, his mum's a gynecologist, his dad's a gynecologist, his sister a gynecologist. She goes, so they sit there on the dining table and discuss that all day. Yeah. Cat. And I was like, yeah. And then she was like, and then she goes to me, she goes, men who are in that profession, she goes, you know what they say, innit? And I said, what? She goes, they can't even get it up.
Oh my god.
And I said, why? She goes, because they see it all the time. It does nothing to them. Yeah. And I thought, valid point.
You know what? It's actually a very valid point. Actually, I think it's a very, because you think about it now, like, he's not a normal guy, is he? Yeah. He's not a normal guy. He won't have the normal feelings. Like, look, for example, right? Like, you got a guy who, like a war veteran, okay? Their emotional levels towards a person who's in pain. Let's say a person who's seen so much war and they've killed so many people and they've seen, so much torture and everything, right? And obviously they're going to have some kind of PTSD. But their emotional level, they're not going to be able to, have that kind of an attachment with an individual who's in pain. I think that also then applies to a person like him.
Yeah.
His day-to-day job is assessing the, female parts, right? So then when the time comes for it, any kind of infection or whatever, he's probably going to be numb.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would want to be married to a person like that. But yeah, so that was like one horror story of like. But I just feel like the common consensus that I'm having right now is the problem that I'm having is that I don't know if it's just the guys in our local area of Bradford that feel this way, or it's Asian guys, or if it's Muslim guys. I don't know what it is. As soon as I say to people, "Oh, I do social media," they're like, "Oh no, we don't want that. We want a low key kind of private, like out of eyes kind of girl." And I said, "You're acting like I'm doing OnlyFans. I'm promoting something really good. I'm doing something that is empowering other women, helping other women, and you're crucifying me for that." And
are you actively looking for dates at the moment, though? Also, another question which I asked you earlier. So obviously, with all due respect, right? would you say it's more difficult for a person like you, who, like I said, like according to social standards, does not meet the standard of beauty, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So is it harder for you to find somebody in comparison to is it hard? Is it difficult for you to find someone?
No, because I'm a bad bitch. But the problem is, I think the problem I find is that because I'm so confident, it intimidates people. It intimidates, and I'm so secure in myself. I don't care, man, if I got a belly hanging out. I don't care about it because I love myself. I know what my body's been through. I know what I am. I know where I've come from, and I know what I've achieved. So if someone's gonna love me, they're gonna love me for exactly how I am. And yeah, of course, like I said, there's room for improvement for everyone. I'm not sat here saying that I'm picture perfect to Western society norms or whatever, but I'm happy, I'm comfortable, I have friends around me, I have family that love me for exactly how I am, and I think for me, in terms of finding it difficult, yeah, of course, there's going to be someone out there for everyone, whether you're skinny, whether you're fat, whether you're tall, whether you're short. Hey, you got married,
forced, arranged, arranged marriage.
I forced him onto him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a forced marriage.
It was.
She don't get married to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's weird.
Does your wife know about it?
It's weird because she's white. That's how that happened. But just another question actually as well. I don't think it's talked about enough. Like the pressure of society and how these not magazine anymore, but these companies, like these fashion companies, they're not held accountable for like what they portray as what a perfect woman should be.
Do you know what?
And also how they objectify women.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. One thing that annoys me is that in our community, like if you look at the Asian bridal magazines, where are all the curvy brides? Where are all the bigger brides?
Yeah.
That shout out straight to you, Asian Bridal Magazine and Asiana. Yeah. Y'all need to get some inclusivity in your magazine.
100%.
Because I get pissed off. I'm like, I go to shops and I'm looking at the sizes. I'm like, bro, that's not going to fit me. And now we have to do made to measure, And that's why I think that's why I scream so loud, because for the women that look like me, for the women that don't get the recognition, because for me, I grew up in a household where my sisters, my mum, they're on the Western society, like they're skinny minis, and I'm the big one. I'm the Mr. Crab's daughter, the whale, Like,
well, the thing is, but you didn't used to be.
No,
because I've known you for a while, and I remember when I first initially met you, which was how long ago? It was
10 years ago.
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You were really skinny.
Yeah. Because I went through something called polycystic ovarian syndrome. I've got I actually have a syndrome, a disease, an illness that made me put on weight without my consent, without me asking for it. I mean, you can reverse the symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome, but it's very, very hard, and a lot of people don't talk about it. Endometritis, thyroids, like these are all conditions that predominantly attack South Asian women. 1 in 3 women actually suffer from polycystic ovarian syndrome.
I know a few women.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people don't talk about it. And for me, like, I'm so grateful because I know what I used to look like and I know where I'm at right now, but I appreciate myself because I can't be hard on myself because it's something that's out of my control. I mean, after I came off your podcast, a week later I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and I think a lot of us, don't really talk about having, diabetes and all these problems, and for me it was a big shock because I was like, I knew I was going crazy because when you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, I hate these comments, where people are like, oh, you're fat, nobody's approaching you, whatever, you're a beast, this. I've got thick skin, don't put it in your mouth, because for me, it doesn't mean crap. Because when I see those comments, I think, well, first and foremost, your girl has to probably get a microscope out to see your man. And then, secondly, I think also, and secondly, like, how sad and pathetic are you that you're online trashing another woman, And what they don't realize is that they have women that are close and near dear to them. When, like Nella Rose said, when she gave birth to you, your mom, she didn't lose the weight, but she still pepped you and you pushed your fat head out. Big up Nella Rose. So it's true though, because all these boys that hear like fat shaming and body shaming women online, it makes me laugh. Like, you keep running your mouth.
No, but shall I be honest with you? But the thing is, it is partially their fault. Of course it is, right? Because you shouldn't be fat shaming anybody. But also, I think it's the fault of media normalizing skinny, small women.
100%.
Now, it's what you, honestly, I mean, whatever you see on the TV or whatever you see in social media, that is what people tend to follow, right?
100%.
So if you're going to keep showing somebody with that kind of a physique, right?
Look at Love Island, for example.
Yeah.
Where are the big girls? I Love Island, I've never seen a big belly girl.
Well, actually, there's one girl on there at the moment, right? Who's not, I won't say she's fat, but she has got like a belly roll.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know something.
But that's a belly roll.
But I respect that.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the first time I've ever seen that. And you know.
There was a girl on the only one season I've ever watched of Love Island, and it was the winter Love Island edition, and it had this woman called Shauna Phillips on it.
Okay.
And I think she's now been diagnosed with some kind of condition, and obviously she's significantly a lot bigger than what she was on Love Island. But honest to God, I love the fact that she was on it, because for once in my life I thought, yes, finally representation for women like me. I mean, she wasn't, I would say she's quite a voluptuous, curvy woman, and she's beautiful. And you know what? She actually got ditched, like, on there. The guy that she was with, he went to Casa Amor, his head spun or whatever. But she, personality-wise, was my fave, because she was raw. She was like me. You know, whatever comes to mind, says it how it is. And I love that. But this is what I'm trying to say, that for me, when I see these comments or whatever, it upsets me, because in the terms of, like, representation, in these comments makes me think, you must be severely insecure in yourself to make these comments.
You know, equally, it also goes for men as well. Like, you're talking about Love Island, right? All the guys on Love Island got an amazing six-pack physique and everything.
Where the dad bods at? I'd love to see that.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, as well, man.
Exactly. Well, fortunately, I don't have a dad bod anymore. But the thing is, though, like... thank you. But like...
Thanks, then.
No, yeah. Compared to this guy, look at this guy, is like a flipping rhino compared to me. But once again, like, you know, like on these Asian or anything, right?
Yeah.
You won't see. I mean, you'll see it in like
in Miss World competitions. Let's just go on beauty pageants and standards. Where are the curvy women? They're not, unless you're Brazilian.
I've never seen like on TV like a curvy woman represented as perfect.
No. The thing is, they are kind of implementing it a little bit.
No, but it's all dying back down now. It's dying back down. Yeah. You know, when a couple of years ago, that whole era or pandemic or sort of, phase came out where everyone's getting BBLs and, you know, like Nicki Minaj and Kim K butts, and everyone's like, I want a big booty, I want to be like Kim K. Cardi B brought it in, and everyone's like, yeah, I want a fat ass. But now people are getting that all, like, slim trim again. Everyone's getting their BBLs reversed. Like, nobody wants that. Everyone wants flat stomachs and liposuction and all of that. But why? Like, just love yourself, man. Like, you know, like, the only ever enhancement I've ever had on myself per se, I've never had any fillers, I've never had, you know, Botox. I had my double chin dissolved, actually, fat dissolved, by a lovely lady in Manchester, Pose Aesthetics, and she did it for me. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, like, it was an insecurity that I had, because my double chin, I never really had one growing up. Like, all my sisters, they've got very, like, definitive, like, jawlines, and I really felt out of place. I thought, oh, shit, man, like, my jawline got lost, where is it, man? So I went and had it dissolved. I kid you not, last year I had it done, and then 6 months later I was storing nuts like a squirrel, and then I came back and I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? And I thought, you know what, at that point I thought, well, I tried it once, it didn't work, screw it, you know. And I just thought, okay, I tried to change something that clearly doesn't want to be changed, and my body's not accepting to it, or, you know, I didn't maintain it, or whatever you want to say about it. But for me, I just thought, why? Like, why are you doing that to yourself? And then I did more soul searching and started realizing, actually, that was a part of me, and you were, like, too hard on yourself. Like, you've gone through a lot. Like, okay, so what if you have a double chin? So what if you have belly rolls? So what if you have stretch marks? Like, love yourself, and, you know. Yeah.
No, the thing is, look, obviously, I'm a big advocate of, like, good health, okay? So, clearly, if somebody's, like, morbidly obese, right? Yeah. And obviously, it's going to affect them in the long run, and they're not going to live as long, okay? I'm not in favour of that, okay? But if somebody's, like, you know, like I said, just a little kind of, you know, a little plump, right? Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think... I mean, I don't think, like, you know, these people that are, like, really, really fat, and, like, dangerously fat. You're thinking what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, say, let's say there's a woman who's, like, I don't know, say 5'5", and she weighs, like, 18 stone, right?
Yeah, then that's
I
the
think
health
that
hazard,
I think that's dangerous, right?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shouldn't be celebrated.
Yeah.
Okay, but like I think that's clearly an issue, and then that needs to be dealt with, a health issue. But like somebody like yourself, for example, okay, yeah, why aren't you like Asian bridal magazines?
Yeah, 100%.
And stuff like that.
I think that's why like today was such a milestone moment for me when I got asked to do modelling, and the girl was like, look, I want to show that you can be a model and be plus size and curvy and still be modest and have this and still go out and model, and you don't have to be the stereotypical Western norm of a model. And I love that. And so for me, that was just such a highlight in all of this social media stuff that I'm doing, because that's what I want to do. I want to promote that love yourself, be happy in the skin that you are. Not everybody looks a certain type of way, and not everybody is the Western standard. So just own up to it and love yourself, and I think that's the best way to be.
But so this modelling shoot you did today, what is it for?
It was a brand, like I said, just promoting like plus size, women and curvy, like sort of voluptuous, like not the normal typical sort of Western body type.
Because I've noticed now, I think you've made a conscious effort to promote this narrative as much as you can.
Yeah, 100%, and that's what I want to do in the essence, because there's women out there who might look at themselves, feel like crap, they might not have supportive family because they're used to the Western norms of, and it's so disgusting in our culture that people want us to be fair-skinned and skinny. But mate, like, I think people who aren't that narrative are just as equally beautiful. Yeah. Why are they not, championed?
And I think you're probably the best person to do it. I think you're a good ambassador to be able to push this forward, not because of your following that you've got now.
Well, yeah,
and the message that you've.
I'm not sat here saying that I haven't had to look at myself and think, okay, where can I make an avid change? I mean, when I was on your podcast last time, I was 14 stone, and I know a lot of people didn't realize that, but I'm now like 12 stone. I've lost 2 stone since your podcast.
Amazing.
And I mean, not like in the most good way, because I found out I was diabetic, but the medication actually helped me with actually losing weight. And that was the problem, because with polycystic ovarian syndrome, you have something called insulin resistancy. And with that, it causes your cortisol level to be imbalanced as well. And what happens is when you pump your stress hormone, so even doing vigorous exercise, so running, doing like, anything that is going to pump your stress hormone, i.e. get your heart rate up, is going to actually in essence make you put on more weight. So what I realized is that since Ramadan, I've been going on walks maybe 3-4 times a week. And and that has also added to that. But I made a conscious effort to better myself, for my betterment. But what suits me? I hate going to the gym. I hate going to the gym. But for me, walking helped.
Yeah.
So it's just individual.
It's not about like sweating your ass off. Like it's more about like how many like calories you burn.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? So for example, if you go for a walk, you might burn out on maybe 500 calories.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work like you have to sweat at gym. Sweat is just
exactly.
like.
And it works. Whatever works for you. Like I push the narrative that whatever works for you. There's no formula to this. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you're happy with, go forward with that.
Yeah, 100%.
Are you talking about in terms of training or in terms of how you look as a person?
Both. I think there's no method to the madness. I think whatever makes you happy internally, go for that. I'm not saying that if you want to keep eating unhealthily, have an avid effort or conscious to understand where your patterns are, what your routine is, and go from there.
I think everybody should strive for good health.
Yeah, 100%. If you're healthy,
you
don't have like ligament impairments or anything like that, then if it's like you were saying about the weight, like if it's struggling with your day to day and it's deterring you from your day to day activities, that's when you've got a problem. But if it's not doing that, and okay, there's always room for improvement. That's what I always say to everybody. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
Whether you are a very slim woman or slim man, or whether you're a very voluptuous man or woman. And I think it's just finding the narrative that fits you the best.
Yeah, and I think it's important that we should use every platform to encourage. If somebody is trying to lose weight, for example, right, do whatever you can to help and motivate that person,
100%.
right? Me and Bouncer, we always try our hardest when we're in the gym. If somebody's training, I always go up to people and they get really surprised, right? And I go up to them, I'm like, yeah, you know, you're looking really good, bro, right? And you know something?
It's motivation for
Yeah,
people.
it's just motivation for
It's
people.
good for people.
I mean,
People feel good about it,
actually, when I was having this conversation with my friends, is that on Instagram, you always see underneath the girls' comments, girls are like, "Yas queen," fire emoji, like all this.
Yeah.
Where's the equivalent for men? I want to see
What the
that.
men?
Start commenting "Yas king" underneath each other's pictures.
You won't get any of that.
No.
No
I do, like, you
crumbs.
know, sometimes I comment, yeah, bro, you look sick. You know what I mean? Or you look good today, you know, something like that, you know.
Yeah.
But there's
It's
that
good,
whole
it's good, yeah.
notion. Wait, as you guys, like, I'm gonna ask you guys a question.
Okay.
Like, as men, is that like? Would you feel like if Bounce code underneath your picture saying, "Yes, bro, you're looking sick," would you be like, "Yo, he bit"?
Well, it depends, innit? Like, it depends. It depends who the guy is, if it's cute. No, right? No, the thing is, no. Honestly, whenever I've had a compliment from somebody at the gym, you know, it really boosts your ego,
Yeah.
right? And equally, because the thing is, look, at the end of the day, we will go to the gym.
Yeah.
All the guys are in the gym, even the girls are in the gym for the same reason.
Yeah.
Is to look better, to feel better,
Yeah.
right? And if there's somebody can then give you a compliment, it gives you a sense of achievement.
Yeah,
You know, you think, oh wow, you know, you don't know who I am, okay? I'm not a friend of yours, but you felt the need to go out of your way and say to me, give me a compliment.
Yeah.
And it really, really makes you feel, you know, like entitled to be at the gym.
Yeah.
Because some people, you know, gym is like sometimes a scary place for a lot of people.
Yeah, 100%.
But
Like I
that
said,
make-
I don't like going to the
Yeah,
gym.
exactly. Yeah, but the thing is, I always, you know, like big people. But I mean, and I'll say the word fat, right? And I mean really fat people.
Yeah.
I actually, you know, I actually kind of appreciate what, you know, like what they. Okay, I'll give an example, right? What I'm saying is what I appreciate. Like I appreciate them, and I understand how hard it is, a day-to-day thing.
It's daunting going into the gym.
No,
like
no,
that.
forget the gym, right? I'm talking about normal life.
yeah, day to
I weigh
day.
63 kilos, which is nothing. Okay. Now, and if you look at a person, so I'm 5'5", and let's say somebody weighs 100 kilos, my weight, right? So you've got some guy who's same height as me. So that'd be the equivalent of me having a backpack, right, with an extra 40 kilos, walking around all the time,
Yeah.
getting up. Every time I get up, it's an extra 40 kilos. I'd be exhausted every time
You
I
would.
go for a walk.
You
I go to the toilet. Whatever I do, I've got to carry this weight around me, this
Yeah,
extra 40
100%.
kilos. 40 kilos is a lot of weight.
Yeah, of course it is.
And this person is having to do that on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
right? So I understand the pain and I understand the struggle. It's not easy just to lose fucking 40 weight, you know,
Yeah,
for 40 kilos, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's very hard. So that's why I think it's important that we should really encourage people
Yeah.
as much as we
Yeah.
can.
And plus, like, when you tell them, look, it's, you know, big up to you.
Yeah.
You know, big up to you. Look good. They get a bit of a, like,
They get
motivation
gas-
boost.
they get gas to it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're thinking, you know what, I need to do better now.
Yeah.
So I get better compliments.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, it's like a goal for them. you know.
We always make it like our conscious effort. We always, you know, we go to, and everyone knows us at the gym because, and like, you
Because
know,
of Bobzybounce.
yeah, well,
That as well. That as well. But,
no,
Hey, I give you a shout out, by the way, off topic, but I gave you a shout out when I was on TV.
really?
Let me
Oh,
tell
you did, yeah.
let me thank you. No, but let me
Thank
tell you why.
you.
Let me tell you why the knowledge. Yeah. Oh, you're those guys that did that podcast with that Kainaat girl.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that day when we were together, like, I was talking to a guy. He's like, bro, I've seen you somewhere before. I'm like, where have you seen him? I go, you've seen me on TikTok, haven't you? Yeah, that's why I've seen you, bro. I'm thinking, yeah, go follow us right now. Because, we're looking through and your voice on is, I heard your voice before.
You know, it's two
Yeah.
things. It's two things, right? It's either or you're the guys who did the video with the girl that got stabbed,
Yeah.
Love
right? Or either is you're the only
Only
fans.
fans.
Right? So it's one of them two.
Yeah.
But
So I've got a question for you, right?
Uh-huh.
Go on.
The question is, for all the guys that are watching right now, yeah. The question is,
sounds interesting.
what is your ideal type of man?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like this question. I feel like I'm like on a dating show.
Yeah. So this is like blind date
Cilla
right
Black
now.
come back
This is
from the
the blind date
dead.
because
Cilla Black.
we got the males behind us blind date now.
Mystery Man.
Yeah, mystery man.
Reveal it. No
Yeah.
lighty. No lighty.
You're combining blind date with what's the other one called? The party.
Me Out.
Take me
Take
out.
Me Out,
It's a
yeah.
combination. Okay. so yeah, that's a good question actually.
My ideal man. Like, are we talking like looks or like?
For both, yeah. Like, you know, overall package.
We already know what's not your ideal man.
Yeah.
So clearly not a gynecologist.
Hey, they got that.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, okay.
But no, I think a lot of, you know what I hear the term, like, I'm just going to go off topic, I'll answer that question, but you know when guys say, like, oh yeah, you know, when I always say I want someone who's a protector and provider, they're like, you're a gold digger. Boys, you don't even have any gold for me to dig.
Yeah.
Where you finding this gold? You pirate? Like, what's going on? You know.
Hang on. I'll interrupt. Sorry. Yeah. Is race important to you?
No.
No. Are you? Are you biased towards one race?
No.
Or do you think?
No, man. I've dated all the walks of life.
Okay, that's what. So you find somebody attractive in every race, pretty much.
Yeah, like I mean, the basic like physical. I like a tall guy.
Okay.
It is what it is. I'm a short girl. I like a tall guy. I'm that narrative. Yeah.
So and in terms of finances.
Yeah, man, you got to do better than me.
Secure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring that wallet.
Yeah.
Bring that American Express.
How much money do you think you should be earning a year? How much is suitable for you to think? Realistically.
I'm trying to think how much I earn. More than me.
Okay, so we won't say
6
that.
figures.
6 figures.
No, that's pushing it. But like a little bit. Even if they earn $2,000 more than me,
okay.
I'm cool with that.
So we got a guy who has to be tall.
Yeah.
Okay. Educated, like to what level?
I mean, they've got to have some brain cells. Yeah, of course. Like I can't speak to
A degree. Is it essential?
It's not essential. I mean, I've been in relationships where the guy hasn't had any sort of educational background, but you've got to have a brain, some kind of acumen, you know, to you.
So we've got a guy who's tall, who needs to be
intellectual. Yeah.
Okay. So fairly educated and intellectual, right?
So.
Articulate, I presume.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Should be earning more money than you.
100%.
Okay. What would you then do in return?
I am the prize. I am the table. I can make another one of you. Remember that.
Okay.
So yeah, like Steve Harvey said, you know, when he's like, I love that video. Like, why you keep asking this one? What do you bring to the table? She can make another one of you, which is facts. I can. And you know, I think it's that whole saying of, what do I add? I add peace into someone's life. You know, as a man, like, I want to be the traditional woman. I don't want you to worry about cleaning. I don't want you to cook. I don't want you to do any of that.
So that is what you bring to the table then.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But that should be a standard for a woman, though.
Being a traditional woman.
Yeah, I'm all about the traditional values.
So not only are you going to bring like love and affection, you're also going to bring the whole nurturing aspect into it.
Of course, a woman needs to be a carer and a nurturer.
Yeah.
And that's the narrative that I've always had. And a man needs to be a protector and provider.
So like the man needs to be like the hunter-gatherer, and the woman needs to be the nurturer.
There we go.
Yeah, okay. That's fair enough.
And that's the kind of ideology, because, you know, like I said to you before, that I've got to a point in my life now where I've achieved everything. I can be that strong, independent woman. I can be, you know, the woman that has a good career and a good sort of acumen towards life. But I want that next step. You know, I want someone who wants to build on that, build a career, and someone who's secure within themselves. That's a very key thing. Yeah. Someone who's not insecure, because I can't be dealing with someone saying, oh, I don't like what you're wearing there, or you know this social media. Like, at the end of the day, what people don't realize is that I do social media because, for me, I haven't had a male in my life. I've only had my mum and my 2 sisters. You know. And
what about Uncle Harry?
My dad, that was my dad.
Yeah.
He passed away when I was 14.
Oh, yeah, so he wasn't there for long, was
he?
So,
yeah, exactly. And for me, I had to adapt very quickly, realizing, okay, you know what, I need to do things. I'm going to have to provide for myself. And then when I got married and that didn't work out, and I realized that, you know, I had to be the breadwinner, it really set me back, because I was like, but this is not what I wanted for myself. And I wanted, you know, that sort of traditional setup, but I never got it.
Yeah.
And for me, it really hit home, and I had a deep thought about it. And you know, I was speaking to some women today, and they were like, "Oh, we can't be housewives, and we can't sit at home." I'm like, I want to sit at home. Where do I sit at? Where can I be a housewife?
Should I be honest though? You know, from the kind of person who you are, and what I know you as a person, I know you're saying right now that you would like to have kind of everything kind of given, you know, provided for you, and the security and everything. But I don't think you're going to sit at home. I think even after you're married,
home, but
you're going to get bored too quick. And you also think, no, but your husband, hopefully, when you find the right guy, he's going to be perfectly understanding. But you know what? if you want to go out get a job part time, just to get you out of the house, go do
Yeah,
it.
no, but that's why I think I want to. If I was going to do something after I'm married, it'd be something very entrepreneurial. So I'd still probably do my social media stuff. I'd talk about being a mum.
Yeah.
I'd get all those brand deals. Pampers hit me up, but but
go help blankets or something.
Whatever, man.
Do something
but stuff like that. Like I'd do mum and baby content, and I would talk about struggles of conceiving whilst having polycystic ovarian. There's so much, limitless sort of opportunities of being a brown girl, talking about marriage. Like, I wouldn't want my husband out there. Like, this is controversial now. Now, even though I'm out in the public eye, I wouldn't want my husband out there. Because, I don't know, I just find it weird. I think I believe in Nazar, like I believe in evil eye.
So what if he is everything that you want him to be and beyond?
Yeah.
But he insists that he wants to be on social media.
I don't know, man. Those Asian TikTok couples give me the ick.
You know what? I agree,
No, they give me the ick. Like, no, don't get me wrong.
It's
some
fake.
of them I love. Like,
fake.
I love. Yeah, some of it is staged, but like, I love that Aisha and Heather. Like, he goes, like I love it. Like I love it. And there's the other one. Big up the girl from Bradford, Syra and Sai. I think there's the other couple, Irsa, and she's married to a guy called Marcus. He's a revert. I love their content as well. So yeah, there's some couples that I'm okay with, but most of them they just cringe. Yeah, that's what I guess.
Yeah. So you don't want to be part of the cringe, basically.
Yeah, basically.
No, if it goes on account.
He can do his own thing. Well, just don't get me involved.
Yeah. Plus on top of that, you're like a sensation, social media sensation, and this guy's irrelevant.
I know, true. I want the limelight on me. Boy, please move.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out my limelight. But yeah, no, that's it really. I think for me, that's what I've struggled with. Every guy that I've spoken to has just said, "Oh, I can't date you because you're on social media." And
really?
Yeah, legit. That is the overall consensus. But what they don't understand is social media helps pay my bills. Social media. I've been on my own for 10 years. Yeah. Like I've never had anything handed to me on a plate.
Yeah.
I've worked damn hard to get where I am at. And for a man to say that, oh, I don't want you to be on social media, but are you going to pay my bills then?
Yeah, but the thing is, it does go back to it does go back to what you said at the start. I think with the kind of person you are, it's just for a man. I think it's quite. A lot of men would find it quite intimidating. I think. I think that's what it is.
Do you think because you're on social media, do you think they don't want to associate themselves with you because the fact that you're a social, influencer, and like you might expose them to something, maybe, I don't know.
I'll be honest with you, like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I'm outing myself here. I was on a date recently, and a girl came up to me and she's like, "Oh, I just want to say, like, I love what you do on TikTok, and I've seen your podcast on YouTube." And the guy had no clue. I didn't tell him, right? Because I just feel like you get prejudged when you're on that, and if you tell them straight away, they're like, "Oh, we don't want to associate with that. We don't want to be on some podcast." Oops. Like, but it is what it is, and I can't hide that. And then when I'm open, and then he was like, "Oh, you didn't tell me you did social media," and I was like, "Yeah, well, I was gonna get to that, but you're too busy just chonging on a shish pipe." Like, but I think it's that whole thing. Like, when you when I'm getting ridiculed on there, it's just. I don't think people understand the sort of like acumen of being on social media. Like I said, if you're using it for the right things, what's the problem? Yeah. I'm not sat here shaking my ass on it.
No, exactly. Because what you're doing is obviously you're promoting like a positive message.
100%.
Body positivity,
100%.
self-confidence. Better yourself.
Love yourself.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
And push yourself to be the best version of yourself that you can be.
But also, I'm not going to be critical towards girls who shake their ass either.
No.
Because we always go through it.
Yeah. because those girls that shake their asses, we get them on a podcast and we ask them why they do that.
So any girls that shake their asses on TikTok,
right?
Hit us up. And,
who are relevant.
You can be in the hot seat,
Exactly.
My mum watches this. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
But no, honestly, I really appreciate you coming back again.
Thanks, guys. I'll send you the invoice later. By the way.
I've already got it. Right. But no, honestly, thank you so much for coming back. I know this time it was a bit more light-hearted.
Yeah, it was. I didn't want the last time I was on here, everyone was like, "You should just tell a crime horror documentary."
Yeah.
Why so serious?
Yeah, literally, I was like, I'm not like that. I'm actually like a cool person. Just get to know me.
No, exactly. The thing is, people need to understand, right? Like, the thing
I'm
is,
actually really bubbly and
yeah, of course you are. Yeah.
And I think when people saw that, they were like, "Oh, I feel sorry for her."
No, look.
But it wasn't
Obviously, you are a bubbly person, right? And there was a part of your life where it was a very traumatic area.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's maybe got that kind of a time, you know, where it's a traumatic.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 3 years now, guys.
Yeah,
you know,
but in general, you've had a good life. You know?
Alhamdulillah, like, you know, my parents gave me everything that I wanted in life, and, you know, I think where I'm at in my life, I can only thank God, and thank you guys as well.
Oh, thank you. I was waiting for that one. Anyway,
Thank you
guys, we finished. That's it. There's the money shot. Yeah, no.
But thank you guys for giving me a platform to, like, you know, tell my story, and, you know, I think, you know, it's given a reach, you know, like, to a lot of people. I mean, 250,000 guys. Big up to you guys. Like,
no. Thank you for
Go on, like,
your podcast has been the most successful. But the thing is, I think partially the reason for that is because I think a lot of women could relate to that.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. You know, like we said at the beginning and before, you know, it's like your story was such like the lady that contacted you, who basically I think she just needed that little spark. That little hope, like, you know, that she was able to do it, and she was able to walk away from the situation, this proper shitty situation, right? And why am I trapped in this? And there's there's so many women out there.
No, honestly, like, so many women were like, we're so brave, they're so important, like, you know, the amount of du'as that I got, the amount of prayers that came towards me, and, you know, they're like, oh, you know, like, the one comment that I saw all the time was like, oh, she's such a bubbly person on TikTok, I would never have thought she went through that, you know, and it's not that I mask it or hide it, it's just that drives me to be a bigger and better person, you know, to want to do it even more, you know, and show to people that, you know, I can go forward and be happy, you know. It's just one of those that people don't realize that, you know, when you're doing this sort of social media and you're putting yourself out there, women don't even, you know, realize the power that they have.
Yeah.
Or they behold.
No, it's a great message. It's a great message. 100%. And what we're going to do as well, just in case people haven't seen the first podcast, which I'm surprised if they haven't, right? Right. If you haven't seen that first podcast, we're gonna put the link of that in the description below. Please go check that out first. Yeah. So go check that one out first, guys. Honestly, the whole story was absolutely crazy, and there's a reason why Kainaat went viral with that one. And I think, like I said, more people need to hear your story, and they need to watch this podcast so they can, you know, so they can see that
another side to me. I feel
exactly.
Like I was so, like, everyone was feeling so.
It's not another side. This is the true side.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. This is the true actual side.
This is how I am.
Yeah, and they can see that how happy you are now.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and how content you are now, and literally you just going. You're just going up, and big things happening.
You're gonna have to contact my personal assistant next time.
Your agent.
That's the one.
Is that iMessenger?
No, honestly, thank you once again for coming on. Really appreciate you coming on, and I doubt you're going to come on for a part 3, or you might do.
Maybe next time I'll come with a husband.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Or baby, even that.
Oh no, but he's not going to be here because you don't want him to be social media relevant.
True.
Yeah, so it's going
to be. Have to blur his face or something.
Yeah, I'll just blur his face. That's fine. But yeah, guys, anything else that you want to add to this?
No.
I think the message that you've.
I think that's just about it. I just want to say I want to be on other podcasts too. So if you want to hit me up.
Yeah, you know, honestly, no, I think we should say that. If anybody does want to reach out to Kainaat as well,
definitely.
Yeah, you can. We're gonna put your Instagram on there. We're gonna put your TikTok on there.
Chloe Best World.
Yeah, everything.
Take me on. Shits and Gigs. I want to be on there. I love them too.
Who?
Shits and Gigs.
I've never heard of them.
Oh my God.
I'll check you out.
Check them out. They're amazing.
I'm kind of a sheltered person, man. I don't really, you know.
Who else has a podcast? I'm trying to think.
There's so many people.
Oh.
Yeah,
but in Yorkshire, there's not many.
We will give. You know what? We give everybody a shout out.
Yeah.
You know, because I think we should all work together. And.
Well, whoever doesn't want me on the podcast and who asked me to be on the podcast, but I'd rejected, yablaos.
Okay, guys. On that note, I think we're gonna leave it. But thank you once again for coming, guys. Till next time. This is Bobzybounce
signing out.
Signing out.
Bye.